What's up, everybody? 36 days after breaking my collarbone, after getting taken out at Summit Point, back on the grid and doing some racing here. So this is a really fun race to study the art and science of passing. As usual, I get a very clutch conserving start, aka garbage, which is good for you because there's a lot of bikes in front of me. Anyways, something happens with the rider up ahead there. See, I got bumped off the track. I don't know if they made contact or something, but whatever. It's an easy position gained. Alright, let's study these guys now, right? So from this viewpoint on, this is me thinking as I'm riding around a racetrack watching these guys in front of me. Of course, everybody knows that the goal is to figure out the fastest way around them, right? Number one thing you do not want to do is get target fixated on the guy in front of you. So this Bob went a little bit to the right there, and he's going to go a little bit to the left, right? So Bob's the guy in the blue leathers there, and what he's doing, he's already kind of feeling out the rider in front of him, and he's trying to set up a pass and seeing what might work. Clearly the gap wasn't there yet, but it's interesting to watch the same pattern here on the next lap after this one. Here we're all kind of falling in line. You can see this is the me paying the price for having a really crappy start. The leader up front there, he's already through 9, he starts to check out, but whatever, it is what it is. I totally screwed up that corner. Never said I was perfect. Actually, I'm quite terrible. The more laps I turn, the more mistakes I find in my own riding, but hey, that's kind of half the fun of the sport, is the constant improvement. So they start pulling on me here a little bit. That's fine, whatever, recollect myself. The lap restarts here at the start finish. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Make some time up on the brakes as I usually do. Now I'm watching Bob, he's in the blue leathers like I said. He's watching Munish in front of him. And look how he's feeling him out, right? He's driving hard. See the back end of this bike squirreling. He tried feeling him up on the inside of 3. The gap was too big, it wasn't going to work. Alright, then he tried it again. He had another look there in 3C. Not going to happen. And he looks, see how he's already over to the right just in case he cannot break him. Now this is where his aggressiveness bites him in the ass. He goes up, tries to send off on the inside of 5, and that line, that tight inside line, just kills your drive on the exit of 5. So here I am to pick up the pieces. At this point, it's just a matter of waiting a tad longer to get on the brakes than I usually would. Pass works. Cool. Let's hope he stays behind me. Alright, gotta figure out the fastest way around him. Let's see if I can do something here on the outside. Now he's got too much speed. Notice that tight defensive line, right? Munish is really protecting that. Second lap into the race, he knows there's traffic behind him. That's just smart racecraft on his part. In a sprint race like this, there's going to be no passing opportunity basically until turn 1. Because everybody's, at this point, you're on the same pace, similar displaced machinery, and it's just not going to happen. So let's tuck in behind him, get a draft, and let's do a game of braking here. Alright, so, yep, that was a little hairy, hanging on. Definitely missed the apex there by a few feet, but hey, didn't crash, so it's all good. Time to drive on. Watching this gap now as we go into turn 3 here. Look how many bike links I closed up, right? Watching, that's Dorsey in front of me and Jason in front of him. At this point in time, I'm watching Dorsey who's watching Jason, right? Jason this entire weekend was a very difficult rider to pass. He was just a little slower than Dorsey and myself, but he was so good in a lot of places that it was extremely difficult. So you'll see Dorsey and I just kind of watching him here for a bit. At this point, I'm playing both offense and defense. I'm defensively trying to keep Munish from passing me again, and offensively I'm trying to figure out a way around Dorsey. So I run a tighter inside line here, hit that bump and wind up losing the front. You can see the bars kind of turn in there for a fraction of a second, but it's all good. Now I'm really watching Dorsey, and again, like I said, there's no good passing opportunity unless somebody has a mechanic or a missed shift or something. You're just not going to pass anybody here. But Dorsey gives it a shot here in turn 1. Alright, so running down the straight, knowing I'll make up a few bike lengths here. See how Dorsey goes to the right? He's going to try to outbrake him. And he does, but he winds up blowing the corner. Right? So, thank you, Dorsey. That was an easy pick-me-up. Notice how I stayed tighter to the track. I didn't go all the way to the curbing because I realized that he blew the corner, but he didn't crash. He was coming back on, and so rather than have a possible collision, I gave him a little bit of the track to let him merge back on. So like I said, Jason's riding was on point this weekend. I hadn't been here in 4 years. I did 0 setup to my bike for this track. I just came out here just to get some seat time in. But he was ripping out here, and he was pulling me in a lot of sections of the track where I was really weak at. But kind of back to passing in general. The hardest rider and the most difficult rider there is out there to pass is the one that's only a fraction of a second or a second slower than you. It's very commiserate to I call it the window of opportunity, right? It's very, very easy to pass somebody that you are, 3 to 5 to 10 seconds faster a lap than them, because that window of opportunity is just a mile wide. In scenarios like this, you got to look ahead, you got to watch a rider, you got to watch their strengths, their weaknesses, you got to know your strengths, your weaknesses, and be prepared to execute. So me knowing I'm pretty decent on the brakes, right? Look at all that, make up probably 10 bike lengths there. I'm going to do my best to keep my roll speed through 2 and then into 3, to try to run him down as much as I possibly can. But he's really good. He's a little slow through C just a little bit. Notice the bike lengths I'll make up here. But he's so damn good in other parts of the track. That's what made it the overall challenge very high. But it's also made a lot of fun, right? At this point, it's just me doing my absolute best effort to try to run him down. But quite honestly, man, I just can't. He's faster in certain sections, I'm faster in other sections, and that's just what made it such a challenge, right? Trying to make him a little bit of time there on the brakes, but he's got better roll speed. I went in there a little hot, and I lost that mid-corner speed there because I just came in too hot. But he's kind of on point here. At this point, he's honestly kind of pulling me around the track. But I'm closer than I was last lap, so hopefully maybe we can do something here, right? Again, he's got a phenomenal drive through all that, and on the front straight, he just takes me to Gapplebee's. Now this I wasn't expecting. Calvin here, I'm like, holy shit, it was this guy. So I hadn't seen him all race. I'm not sure if he was the one that possibly ran off the track earlier. But now I'm like, oh, this is interesting. So, believe we have a lapper here. That's probably a novice guy. So he's like, holy shit, what's going on here? Don't worry, we'll get around you. But now the dynamics changed, because now I'm interested in seeing, like, well, let's see what these guys wind up doing. Again, notice how Kevin kind of went to the left there, 5, trying to feel him out to see if he cannot break him. These guys are starting to check out of me, so I really need to start going. Alright, at this point, riding my own line, being able to set the entry speed that I want to, and I'm watching these guys. Something's going to happen up here. Notice how Calvin's kind of feeling them out. Man, we got a little contact there. Alright, so what happened there, see how I'm staying tight to the left here, because Jason's right on my right hand side, which was kind of hard to see. So there he is, he finally gets around me, he had a better drive. But Jason there was on the left there going into 10, and I couldn't see him right as he flipped his bike to the left, and there was just a little bit of contact there, but he stood the bike up. No harm, no foul. Neither one of them went off track. It was just, I would consider that just a normal kind of a racing incident, so to speak. At this point, this guy's hauling the mail through turn 3 here, so doing my best to hang on. I realized there's probably 0 chance of me catching him, especially since this is the last lap. So making the best of the situation that you can, right? So when you get a faster rider that passes you, what's the best thing to do? watch them and learn them and see what they're doing better than you, right? He gets a hell of a drive coming out of 5. Does a pretty good job of maintaining it through there. We're kind of matched here. Get him a little bit more on entry. Again, I kind of noticed that throughout the weekend. My overall strength seems to be my entry speed in the corners, kind of as a whole, in comparison to other riders. Without knowing where Jason was at behind me, I noticed I kept a little bit tighter of an inside line there, just because I didn't want him running up the inside. At this point, it's a race to the finish. I know that unless I miss a shift or something crazy, Jason can't pass me. So I was putting my head down and racing through the finish line. Alright, I hope this was informative. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks.